The outside of a home can go from drab to increasingly dramatic with a fresh coat of paint and the right color palette. And it instantly adds value. But there's a lot to consider when painting the exterior. The first step is almost like picking your house's personality. Amy Wax is an expert in architectural color choices. So Amy, when I see all of the swatches and the colors, it looks beautiful, but I'm a little overwhelmed.
It is overwhelming. The paint companies offer 3,000 different color options, and it's hard to know where to start. But what's important is to think about what colors you love, what colors you're drawn to.
So what's your role? How would you help me?
I'm really looking for, do you want it to feel historic? Do you want it to look contemporary? Do you want to bring out the architectural detail? And I'm looking for what they're most comfortable with, and I turn that into color. But let me tell you what I would do if I was a homeowner. What I think is you have a color wheel available. So if you love yellows, let's experiment what that would mean in terms of choosing a yellow. What I did was I brought some with me to share with you. And this gives you, like, even in yellows, there's creamy yellows, there's golds, there's a range of colors. What's also important is to look at not only the color of the house, but the contrast with the trim. Let me show you how, because if we are using this color, which is a beautiful bold gold,
okay,
and if you want to do a trim with it, this is a beautiful trim with that. It looks nice and bright. Really, the details will show up beautifully on that. But then again, if you go to a lighter yellow, this trim doesn't work at all because it doesn't stand out and it actually looks a little gray.
Right.
But then you need to change your trim. And if you go to a brighter trim, then you're good again. And think of the things in your house that are already on your house that are already a part of your palette. Your roof is part of your palette. If you have pavers, if you have a driveway, if you have planters, or your plants bright colors, take that into consideration because it all needs to work together.
I also wanted to ask you too how you pick a color for your front door.
What matters the most about a front door is that it's inviting. It makes your house different. Make that your eye candy of the house. Make it a color that's worth talking about.
Online resources can also take the guesswork out of picking colors. Color 911, which Amy developed, helps show what colors go together, both inside and outside your house. There's no getting around it. Exterior painting is a dirty job, and many homeowners prefer to leave it to a professional. Scott Morelli knows the process and techniques inside and out. Okay, Scott, so I've decided to repaint my house. Walk me through the process of what you do.
Very first thing you do is you protect the environment. You tent the whole house out, you put drop cloths on the ground, and you make sure you try to collect as much debris as possible. Then you take carbide tip grinders and you grind the paint off of the house, which also takes some wood off a little bit. After that, you use sandpaper, different grits, 24 grit, 50 grit, 80 grit, and you go, and each time it's one time around. So just the sanding part, you go around the house 4 times.
Okay, and then what's next after the sanding process?
Go around the house again and caulk cracks and seams, patch imperfections, holes, nail holes, big holes, repair any kind of rotted wood that might be on the house.
Why prime? Why is that so important to put a primer on?
Penetrates the wood a little bit, whereas if you use just a top coat, it lays right on the top of the wood. It doesn't get any penetration. And then after the priming process, things pop out all over again. There's more holes, there's more cracks, so you go around again with caulk and patch. And then put the top coat on and things pop out again.
Unfortunately, right?
So there's more caulking and patching and sanding, and it's all done by hand at that point. You want to paint the wires and the pipes and the gutters and the leaders to make them all just blend in to where you don't see them. They actually disappear with color. Color is a very powerful thing.
Exterior paints have also improved in recent years thanks to technology.
Exterior paints have to be formulated to handle a number of different conditions, whether it be really deep sunlight, really wind-driven rain, or really wide ranges of different types of weather. So whether it's very hot and then can get very cold. So we formulate to account for all that, so we can make a very flexible coating that allows that weather to expand and contract that coating. We formulate a very thick coating that allows us to stand up to the wind-driven rain. And of course, we put a lot of UV inhibitors into those paints to make sure that we protect your home from the sun.
Painting the exterior of your home is a big investment, but a fresh look like this can always welcome you and your family back home.